When you're confronted with a difficult decision like whether or not to go for a run, do your homework, or eat a third slice of cake, do you ever wish you could just automatically make the right decision, like a robot? If so, you're in luck, because I'm about to teach you how to do just that. Hi, I'm Mayhem, musician, philosopher, cult leader, human, and this is my series Neurohacking, where I dress up as an anime girl in a valiant effort to help you pay attention to the lesson you slept through in psych class. This is part 2 about heuristics, so check out part 1 if you haven't seen it. But heuristics are basically ways your brain is automatically programmed to make a certain decision when confronted with specific stimuli, kind of like a robot. Part 1 covered how to identify and disassemble self-destructive heuristics you've developed by accident. But this video, part 2, will cover how to create beneficial heuristics so that you make good choices automatically. Step 1. Identify the decision you want to lock in. If you have a goal, it's important to be specific. For example, I want to get in shape is too vague. I want to go for a walk every day and train my core once per week is much better. I want to eat healthy is too vague. I want to eat eggs for breakfast instead of sugar cereal and swap soda for seltzer is much better. Whatever your goal is, identify it and then describe it in detail. Step 2. Create cues. Now that you know what you want to be doing, figure out how to work it into your life. For example, set a specific place and time of day you want to go for a walk, or take all the soda and sugar cereal out of the house and make sure the replacements are on hand. By this point, you should know exactly what you need to be doing, how to do it, and when. You should also set reminders to do the thing at the time you want to do the thing. You could also make the cues themselves the habit. For example, if the habit of working out seems intimidating, you could try the habit of putting on workout clothes and going to the gym, which makes the final step of actually picking up the weights seem far less of a hurdle to overcome than it does from your couch. Do whatever you can to make the right choice seem like the path of least resistance. Step 3. Go all in. If you want to use the heuristic method, it's time to make a mental commitment to execute your decision 100% of the time. This is going to require a big change in how you see your vices and how you see yourself. I'll tell you a personal example I have. I grew up being allergic to food dye, which meant every time I was presented with colorful candy or desserts, I had to say no 100% of the time. My life depended on it. So, as a child learning to resist cupcakes, I learned to see foods I was allergic to as not even an option to eat, the same way you'd see a bagel on a plate and never once have the thought that maybe you should eat the plate. Learn to see your vices as something you can no longer access, like an object in a video game that's part of the background, something you're not able to select. And see yourself as the type of person who would never choose that thing. When someone who's not addicted to cigarettes is offered one, their decision depends heavily on whether they identify as a smoker or as a non-smoker. So if you're making a big change in your life, allow it to come with a new identity of who you want to be, and make the choices that version of you would make. Pretty soon, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Step 4. Identify your resistance. Let's say you start using this method and have some failures along the way. In fact, prepare for this in the beginning. Now, we're going to troubleshoot what underlying causes are tripping you up. This is a similar technique to the one we used in step 3 of the last video, except instead of reasons you do something bad, we're looking for reasons you don't do something good. For an in-depth explanation of how to do this step and why, check out my video, Why Your Decisions Are Weak Sauce. Step 5. Fix your resistance. Now that you have a list of the reasons you don't stick to what you want to do, it's time to find solutions. This will depend on whether your excuses are situational or chronic. Situational excuses typically require alternatives you can turn to, while chronic excuses require better preparation. A situational excuse for not taking a walk would be if the weather was horrible. On those days, try replacing it by walking up and down the stairs instead. A chronic excuse would be if it always got dark before the time you planned to go for a walk. In that case, plan to walk on your lunch break instead. A situational excuse for not eating a healthy breakfast would be running late once in a while. On those days, grab a protein bar instead. A chronic excuse would be not having energy to make eggs in the morning. In that case, try making them ahead of time and reheating them in the microwave. If you have a really good excuse, like being unable to walk because you broke your ankle, or needing to fast to get blood drawn, obviously cut yourself some slack then. But don't allow yourself to slacken your goals just because you don't feel like it. You need to stop seeing the habit you want to break as even being an option. So stop treating it like an option. Because you don't just make your decisions, Your decisions also make you. So make yourself into someone you truly want to be. Love, Mayhem.